Greetings, eaters, and welcome to the OSD2. Welcome to her kitchen in apparently sunny Provo, Utah today. Not warm, but it's sunny.
Yes, true.
Yeah, and I'm acclimated for Las Vegas, and it's like Fargo in February for me. Okay, so cooking on the road. This is my second video on the road. I came up to visit a couple of my daughters. The third one decided to blow us off, as she does, and not come to visit from Idaho.
She had school.
She did have school, but she's going to watch that and be annoyed with me, and then I'll have to hear about it. But I'll hear about it from the OSW, because she will talk to OSD3, and OSD3 will say, "Dad is talking crap about me," and then the OSW come to me and say, "Why are you talking about crap about our daughter on video?" I love you, OSD3.
All right.
I do, I swear. Okay, so here's what we're doing. And here, let me have one of my sons-in-law doing the video work here. I flew here on Spirit. You have limited luggage space, so I'm wearing flip-flops. This is the only thing that fit in the bottom of my bag. And the OSD2 is wearing, how would you describe those? I mean, they're obviously Crocs.
These are my colorful cheetah Crocs, and I love them. They're really comfortable.
She loves them. Her husband less so.
Yes.
No input on that.
Oh, they are ugly as crap.
There it is. That's right.
Me too.
Good.
Croc lives matter.
No, they don't.
Anyways, so
all right, let's not get political here. Yeah, so today I'm gonna let OSD2 explain what's happening here. I will just tell you that we are going to make we're making lasagna soup, right? Now this is the thing I have never made. It is something that OSD2 makes and is apparently tasty. And I mean, lasagna is basically like spaghetti cake. Didn't Adam Carolla one time said that there'd be more world peace if we made more lasagna? What is spaghetti cake?
Spaghetti cake.
I think it sounds awesome.
Anyways, I do have to admit this recipe is not mine. It is Macy Blackwell's recipe, and it is so good. So I just want to share it.
But we are here about, like, this is less of a cooking show, more of an eating idea show to get good meals on the table quickly for your family. So that's what this is about. So
this one's pretty easy, pretty quick.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where the idea comes from. It needs to be something you can do easily and affordably and feed your family while on a busy man. So
it's a fall favorite.
I'm gonna let you get after it here.
All right, come over here. Come over here. Okay.
I don't know what I'm looking at.
So we're gonna be showing you the different ingredients we're gonna be using for our lasagna soup. So we use about a pound of ground Italian sausage, a pound of ground beef, about 1 yellow onion. Depending on how much flavor you like, you can do bigger or smaller.
So that's a pretty small onion.
Yeah.
I mean, not cocktail size, but small.
Yeah. And then we will need water mixed with chicken bouillon, about 7 of these.
Which I think is weird, but apparently that's what it's supposed to be.
It's pretty good. And then we're going to use tomato sauce. Usually we use tomato paste, about 2 tablespoons of that, but we don't have any tomato paste, so if you put less water, it works. Some minced garlic, because of course. A little bit of spinach, which actually makes it super delicious. And then there's marinara. You can make your own, but if we're making a hybrid meal, I like this one, the Mazzetta family marinara sauce. It's like $5 at Smith's. And then we use a little bit of parsley. And then it also calls for basil and oregano, but I really like this mix, and it does the trick for me. And then we are going to be using an Italian-style blend of cheeses that for after the soup is done, we mix it with ricotta and we stick it in there, and it's pretty good. And then we'll be putting in broken up lasagna noodles with salt and pepper, and then I also forgot to pull out the red pepper flakes, but that will also be in there too.
So explain what you're going to do here, because we're not going to film all of the cooking process since we don't have since this is your college kitchen. We don't have a ton of workspace, so kind of explain what you're going to do. Oh, and before you get into all that, I'm going to let you make the restaurant recommendation, because give us something, I mean, like Harushkas, Kolachkas or something. What would you recommend here in Provo? Red tacos?
My husband and I, one of our favorite date night spots is Chomburger. It's pretty good. It's in Provo. I'm not a huge burger person, but I really like it a lot, and it lets me put a runny egg on my burger, which I really do love. And they have really good milkshakes. They have a salted caramel Biscoff shake that my husband goes crazy for. So if you're in Provo, look it up. It's pretty good. I like their sweet potato fries too.
Would you endorse Red Tacos and Hershka's Kolachkas?
I would endorse both of those things, but Chom is my recommendation for today. Both are great options too.
Fantastic. All right, so tell us what you're gonna do.
Okay, so first what we'll do is I'm going to probably put these, we don't really like chopped onions in this household, so I put this in the food processor and it kind of blends it up, and so you can't taste the chunks of it. And then I put it in this pot that I have here. I'll put it in this big Dutch oven pot, and then I'll also put the garlic in there with it as well. And I'll post the full recipe with this as well. And so we'll cook the beef and the sausage at the same time, cook it up. And then we will put the marinara sauce, the tomato paste or sauce, and then all of the seasonings in with it. And then we will put the water and the chicken bouillon in there and then let it simmer for a bit. And we will break apart the pieces of the lasagna noodles, and we'll put it in there and we'll let it cook for a while. It does actually tell you to put the spinach in before the noodles, but I don't like it wilted, like to wilt too much, so I'll put it in after the noodles are cooked. Stir it up, let it sit for a bit, and then while that's cooking, you mix together the Italian cheese seasoning and the ricotta together in a bowl, and then you scoop the soup up in the bowl and then put it in there, and I'll show you how to do that at the end.
Yep, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna have you get each of these things ready, and then we will film you combining them. So
that's fine.
Let's go ahead and do that. So we'll be right back.
Alright.
Alright.
A little bit of olive oil. And then we will put the onion from the food processor in there. I put the whole onion in there because it's a pretty small onion. And you can puree it up more than this if you'd like, but this is just kind of how I like it. And then we're going to take the garlic, put that in there. And I like a lot of garlic, so.
Was this the cast iron from Costco?
This is what you got me for our wedding.
Oh, nice. Well, you gotta have cast iron.
Alright, and then you're gonna turn it on kind of at a medium-high heat and kind of move this around a little bit.
That smells really good, by the way.
Yeah. And then
so you're sweating the vegetables.
Yes, once you've kind of moved that around a little bit, you actually don't want to wait till it's sauteed to put the meat in. So we'll put the sausage in there.
And so you recommend ground sausage over getting the links and cutting them up?
Yeah, I like it better because it just kind of mixes really well with the ground beef. And that's the point of it, is to kind of mix the ground beef together with it.
So I've not eaten this yet, so I don't know what I'm getting. When your mom makes lasagna for me, because her lasagna is awesome, she cuts up the links, and I like that.
Yep. So, seems like the middle. This is a little bit frozen, but it's okay. It'll get unfrozen in a sec. So we'll just let it kind of break apart for a minute in here, cook, and then we'll break it apart some more, and then we'll just set that in there for a couple minutes.
Okay. The meat is browned, the vegetables are sweated. I have to catch a plane back to Las Vegas in a few hours, so let's move forward.
All right.
What's next?
So, now that the meat is browned, we'll put some salt in it, and then we'll put some pepper. Kind of mix that around a little bit. And then once we get that mixed in there, then we're gonna add, I only have a teaspoon, so 3 teaspoons equals 1 tablespoon. So, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
So this is an important lesson for all of you people who are learning to cook. You get my wife does this. She gets hung up on details and all that, and the reality is you can improvise with most things.
That
like
was about 6 tablespoons, just so you know.
Yeah,
if it was tomato paste, you'd only need 2, but.
Yes.
All right, so now we're gonna turn the heat down a little bit, and then we're gonna go ahead and put our marinara in it.
And why is this your favorite marinara for this?
I just taste the best. I've
Just
tried
like
a couple
it.
ones, and this one tastes the best.
All right.
You can make your own,
Like.
but I like to make this like quickly. This is a quicker meal, right? So we're gonna stir it around, and then we're gonna put our other seasonings in it. So I just like to kind of eyeball it. So this is the basil and oregano. So I actually like a good amount of this because it's so good. And then we're gonna put some parsley in here. And then we're gonna put in the red pepper flakes, which, depending on spice, you can put more, you can put less. It really depends on how much.
You like this more than sriracha?
Yes, my husband eats sriracha like candy, and the smell of it kind of makes me nauseous sometimes. But I do use it, but I prefer it for this. Okay, so then I have peeled about 7 bouillon cubes, so I'm gonna put them in there. And because we didn't use paste, we used tomato sauce instead. Instead of 7 cups of water, we're gonna use 6.5 cups of water.
And you don't have to use bouillon cubes; they're just easy to measure. But each bouillon cube is about a teaspoon or a tablespoon. Oh,
I'm not sure, but I just know the ratio to water. But if you you can use 7 cups of chicken stock if you want as well. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go ahead and let this simmer for a couple of minutes to get all the juices together, and then we're gonna put the lasagna noodles in it.
Alright.
Alright, so we're gonna put these lasagna noodles in it. Depending on how many noodles you like, you can put the whole box. It does call for 12, but I like to put a little bit more. And then you're just gonna break them up and stick them in there. And then the nice thing about it is that you just basically, once the noodles are cooked, you throw this spinach in it right before they're cooked, and then the soup is pretty much done. So
you'd say total cook time for this is probably, like, you could theoretically, like, the total prep time is probably under 20 minutes. Total cook time is probably a little longer because you let it simmer.
yes. Honestly, I would say this meal takes about maybe 40 minutes to make, to be honest with you.
Well, I like to focus on, like, prep time and cook time, and so I mean prep time, obviously you have to be there doing stuff, but then you can walk away and do something else and come back. So your prep time on this is probably about 20 minutes.
If you need to make it quickly, it tastes great. If you need to let it simmer longer, it's perfect either way. I'm sure that there's a way you could make this in the crock pot as well. I just haven't really explored with that.
I get itchy with doing pasta in crock pots because then it just turns to mush if you leave it there too long. So
yeah, me too.
I'm a fan of that.
Something you could do is you could cook it in the crock pot and then make the noodles right before it's done, and then just kind of put them in as you like.
And that's my recommendation for doing any soup or anything that has noodles, is cook the noodles separately and then add it in as you eat it. Otherwise, you get noodle paste.
I definitely like to use the noodles, put the noodles directly in this one, because this one gets eaten within the time that we make it. It's a lot. It's just a really good one. The other thing about this recipe is it's under $20 and it feeds your whole family. So it's a good one. Okay, so now that we have all of our noodles in there, we're gonna just go ahead and stir it in there a little bit. Make sure the noodles get down in there so they can cook. And then we're gonna let it simmer for about, basically as however long it takes to cook the noodles. and we'll come back and put the spinach in it in a sec. So, see you soon. This is going to be the ricotta mix that we put into the soup when it's done. Depending on how much ricotta you like, honestly, like, it really just depends on personal preference. I like a good amount, so we'll put a thing of ricotta in a bowl.
So this is a 15-ounce tub of ricotta from Kroger. Well,
yeah,
Smith's.
And I would even go more if you want, because I just like a lot of it in it. And then I usually put the whole bag in here, because once you stick it into the soup, it's gonna melt right away, just like in lasagna. So what you'll do is you'll just go ahead and mix these two together until it's mixed well. There's a lot of like cheese in it, so it's probably not going to mix as well, but like I said, it just melts. You just put it in the soup and it'll melt.
So do you put it on each bowl, or do you put it on top like when it's done cooking?
You put it in each bowl.
Okay.
Personal.
I like the sound of that.
Depending on personal preference. So, also excuse our game. We're having game night tonight, so we had to. But do you see how?
Game day until I have to go to the airport.
Game day. Do you see how that's mixed in there though? And then you just scoop it up with a spoon and put it in. We'll show you how to do that at the end.
So you put a dollop of this on top of each bowl of it.
Yep.
Dollop, that's a $3 word for you.
Yep. So, there you go.
Alright, so now what we're waiting for is for the soup to finish cooking. So once the noodles are tender and ready to go,
and we'll put the spinach in.
Yes, the spinach will go in, and then we will serve it up. So, be right back.
Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and put the spinach in, but first, before we do that, let's just take a look at this soup and see how it's cooking. Doesn't that look so good? Yeah. Okay, so this is also another thing that's based on preference, how much spinach you want to put in there or not. I like a good amount, so I'll probably put about half the container in there. And then we'll just stir it in there. And then we'll let it cook in with the rest of the cooking that the noodles have to do. And then once that's done, then we're pretty much done with the soup. But someone made focaccia bread to eat with it, so let's take a look at that.
Oh, let's do one with focaccia.
This is a yeast focaccia. Unfortunately, it's not sourdough, but it's good. It's good.
It tastes really good with
We eat well here.
garlic bread,
Sure you can
focaccia
tell.
bread, whatever kind of
I'm gonna sit it down.
bread you want. But there, see, the spinach is already starting to wilt, so we'll just let that noodles cook the rest of the time, and then we'll be back for the big reveal.
The big reveal. Wow, someone's ready to have her own reality show. Alright. Okay, so it's done. And we're going to dish some up.
And then we're going to go ahead and put the ricotta in it. Let me grab that. Take the ricotta. Nice big chunk of it. Put it in there like that. Maybe just a little bit more. And then you'll mix it around in there. And then do you see how it's making it? The cheese is already melting and it's getting all creamy in there.
I like how the pepper flakes give it a nice kick.
Yes, and then the cheese is, if you can see the cheese moving around in there.
Alright, take a bite of it for our viewing public.
Alright, let's see how warm it is.
Oh, it's probably warm. Don't burn yourself.
And you dip the focaccia in it. Money.
Yeah, I already tasted it. I've eaten like about a third of that focaccia already, just dipping it in the soup while it's waiting to cook. So, pretty sweet. One more shot. Look at that. That's,
you see that
that's
cheese?
Fantastic. Yeah, there's your fall food for you right there.
All right.
Some of this. Okay, so there you go. Oh, I'm getting photobombed by one of the OS SILs. All right, So there you go. Another great meal from the kitchen of the OSD2.
The Hibbits.
The Hibbits. No, the
Household.
OSD2. We're keeping it anonymous. Very witness relocation here.
Okay.
You married away from the ultimate witness relocation name, so there you go.
Yes, I did.
All right, so please, if you like this recipe and try to make it, please take pictures, share it on, tag us in social media, like, follow, and share our social media sites, and those are OSD2.
OSD2 is Allie Hibbits and...
No, what are not your social media
But
sites?
I want them to tell me. Also, Obesity Sherpa Presents, but also Allie Hibbits.
Okay. We are on YouTube. Sorry, OSD2, slow learner. OSD2. I'll let you plug your stuff. You're fine. For my channels, our primary channel is YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter.
TikTok.
We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram, LinkedIn, Tumblr, and Rumble. I think that's everything. Pinterest. Did I say Pinterest? Yes. Please like, share, follow, return for more content. And all right, plug your stuff. What do you got?
Allie Hibbits, and follow my chalkboard calligraphy site, Chalkboard Calligraphy on Instagram, or Chalk and Roll Calligraphy. My bad.
If you're gonna plug yourself, get the name.
I
right.
cannot.
What are you doing?
Chalk
dude?
and Roll Calligraphy.
Chalk and Roll Calligraphy. All right. OSD1. Anything you want to plug?
Amateur Pagkaon. It's an Instagram site where I post my food. If you want the spelling, we'll put it in the comments.
There you go. All right. So, apologies to Jimmy Kimmel, no squirrel pie yet again. But until next time, I'm holding two things here, so I can't give you the salute. But keep on eating.